Take a deep breath. Look out the window at the calm blue sky. It's easy to feel the mild temperatures and breathable air around us and assume the Earth has always been this way. We tend to view our planet as a perfectly tailored permanent sanctuary. But this is a chart showing the entire 4.5 billion year history of Earth compressed into a 24-hour clock. The comfortable slice of time for humans wouldn't take an hour or even a minute. It spans only 3 seconds right before midnight. To understand how hostile the rest of that clock really is, imagine a sudden experiment. We're taking away the protective bubble of the modern world and dropping you, equipped with a highly advanced spacesuit, into random eras and neighboring planets. By stripping away our present-day atmosphere and climate, we can test the exact variables we rely on to survive. We're going to see exactly what happens when extreme gravity, toxic atmospheric chemistry, and scorching temperatures are no longer working in our favor. Without the highly specific conditions of our modern era, the baseline state of the universe, and our own planet, is an indiscriminate matter incinerator. We start 4.5 billion years ago in the Hadean Eon. There is no solid surface here yet. Instead, you fall toward a violently boiling ocean of magma, where temperatures exceed 2,000 degrees Celsius, complete with miles-high tidal waves of liquid rock. But the heat doesn't kill you. Long before you hit the magma, the atmosphere strikes with the force of a hydraulic press. The air pressure here is 100 times higher than modern Earth, instantly crushing your advanced suit like an empty aluminum can. This extreme physics isn't restricted to ancient history. We can find a near-identical environment right next door today, on the surface of Venus. Venus sits at a scorching 470 degrees Celsius, under 90 atmospheres of pressure. Surviving this requires extreme engineering, like the thick titanium plates and heavy armor built into the Venera 13 probe. Even then, robotics like this break down rapidly under those conditions. We operate comfortably at 1 bar of atmospheric pressure and mild temperatures. If either of those physical forces shifts even slightly, human biology is physically eradicated in seconds. Even when physical forces stabilize, a slight tweak to atmospheric chemistry is lethal. 700 million years ago, during the Cryogenian Period, Earth was locked in a deep freeze. The pressure is normal, but the landscape is nothing but thick white ice stretching into dead silence. If you take your helmet off here, the cold isn't what gets you. The air is entirely sterile. Billions of years of oxidizing rock sucked almost all the oxygen out of the atmosphere. Your lungs fill with emptiness, causing swift, painless asphyxiation within 30 seconds. You can find a similar hazard by traveling to Jupiter. The atmosphere there is incredibly thick and abundant, but having an immense volume of air is useless if the chemical mix is wrong. Plunging into Jupiter's atmosphere, you are immediately bombarded by extreme radiation, whipped by 370-mile-per-hour winds, and dragged through freezing clouds of ammonia. The Galileo spacecraft survived a 58-minute descent through these violent bands before succumbing to the environment. You can engineer a suit to withstand intense gravity or crushing pressure, but if the invisible chemical cocktail surrounding you isn't perfectly tuned for human lungs, survival is impossible. This graph compares our modern 21% oxygen to the Carboniferous period's massive 35%. This hyper-rich air acts as a slow poison, oxidizing human cells. Externally, oversaturated oxygen turns every thunderstorm into an apocalypse. A single lightning strike sparks a continent-spanning firestorm. Let's jump forward to the Eemian interglacial period, roughly 125,000 years ago. The physical forces are stable, the oxygen levels are normal, and the temperature sits at a perfect 25 degrees Celsius. It feels like a warm, lush paradise. You are actually standing right here, at the future site of London's Trafalgar Square. But instead of concrete and monuments, the warm Thames River is teeming with 1.5-ton hippopotamuses. They were the most aggressive animals in ancient Europe, easily capable of running down an unarmored human. Even when the climate, pressure, and chemistry perfectly align, a habitable world is already occupied. The local ecology is viciously competitive, and it will quickly outmaneuver and consume an unadapted human. We arrive at the last glacial maximum. The temperature is minus 50 degrees Celsius. Even clad in modern synthetic fabrics, your body heat rapidly drains away and you freeze to death in a blinding white desert in under 30 minutes. Yet groups of our ancestors, the Cro-Magnons, lived and hunted in this exact same environment. They didn't wait thousands of years to biologically evolve thicker skin or fur. They invented bone needles with eyes. They manufactured airtight, double-stitched suits from Arctic fox and reindeer hides, and they mastered the use of animal fat and bone to fuel hot fires in a world with almost no wood. For billions of years, Earth was a hostile proving ground. It incinerated, crushed, froze, and suffocated nearly everything on its surface. Our modern comfort is a highly unusual cosmic anomaly. The only reason humanity exists today is because we learned to engineer our own environments, constantly manipulating and cheating the deadly variables of the universe.